Have you seen everybody apologizing for the case regarding the defendant who was caught driving while in court on a suspended license? Let's check out this latest and updated video of the court back in Michigan today.
New tonight, a shocking twist for the man who went viral for driving during a virtual court hearing for a suspended license.
Corey Harris showed up in person at a Washtenaw County courthouse today, hoping to set the record straight and put this entire saga behind him. Instead, we're reporting on a brand new chapter.
7 News Detroit reporter Kimberly Craig has been keeping up with the twists and turns of this one. She was in court today as it all unfolded.
Well, nothing went the way Corey Harris thought it was going to go in court today.
Sounds like he's back in court. That was the defendant there, Corey Harris, who was accused by the court or allegedly was driving without a license while on Zoom.
The judge started off by slamming Corey Harris, saying he's never even had a valid driver's license, and the afternoon ended with Harris going to jail.
And before everybody says, oh, this is an old video, this guy was innocent. So the first video that we watched, he was caught driving. The second video that we watched, hey, I had my license this whole time. It was the court's error. Now this is the third video that we're watching of the court saying, no. It's not the court's error. You're the one who didn't get this taken care of. And so let's take a watch of the video and see what the judge has to say.
The person that needed to be blamed is the person that he was staring at in the mirror. He didn't do what he should have done.
The judge came ready to set the record straight with Corey Harris, who has claimed that he thought the suspension on his driver's license was removed 2 years ago.
That court and its friend of the court did nothing wrong. His driving privileges were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it.
The judge said Harris never paid his clearance fees with the court or the Secretary of State to lift the suspension. But that's not all.
He has never had a Michigan license, ever.
We asked.
That's an interesting way to put it. So there's clearance fees. So they say, hey, you have your license back. It's been reinstated, but you have to pay for the Secretary of State, for the DMV, whatever those fees are, so that you can get your license back and reinstate it. He never did.
Harris yesterday if he ever had a valid driver's license. He claimed he didn't remember. Do you ever recall having one, having a driver's license?
I knew I had a permit. I knew that.
What? So she asked if he's ever had a valid driver's license in his life. And he said that he had a valid permit and he knew that when he was 15 years old? Because, I mean, what? So, because that's when you would get a driver's license permit, is when you're 15, when you're like learning to drive, I would assume. So is he saying that he doesn't remember ever having a valid license other than when he was 15?
A driver's permit or?
I believe, I don't know. I can't say yes and I can't say no.
And that's odd because the Pittsfield Township police officer and prosecutor said during that October traffic stop, Corey Harris knew what was up.
Twice during this traffic stop. He acknowledged.
So here's the prosecuting attorney going over the traffic stop.
To the officer that he did not have a valid, quote unquote, actually, I don't have a license. Close quote. The question was, are you a valid driver? Quote, I am not.
There was no error.
That's my gut impression from this whole thing from the very start, is he never was saying that he had a valid license. In fact, he was saying the opposite. I mean, you just heard the prosecuting attorney, quote unquote, do you have a valid license? I don't have a valid license. That is, to me, a problem. Would you drive a car knowing that if you got pulled over and the officer was going to ask you, do you have a valid license? Knowing that you would say, no, I don't have a valid license, you just wouldn't drive a car. It wouldn't matter if thought that, it was not right or was unjust that your license was suspended.
By anybody. It was a failure on the part of Mr. Harris to do certain things. Now, I grant you that sometimes that can be a complicated process.
You have to contact the secretary or whoever it is to do this. This is in 2022. We're talking 2 years later, and it sounds like those fees are still haven't gotten paid. So the court's not having it.
But it was certainly not anybody's fault that that didn't happen, other than that wasn't paid.
It can be complicated to get it figured out, but that doesn't mean that it's the court's problem or the clerk's problem or anybody else's problem. It's still your problem.
Then came the unexpected.
Warrant for his arrest.
Corey Harris was taken into custody for what appears to be a 9-year-old bench warrant out of Allen Park.
So
I don't know where Allen Park is, maybe somewhere in Michigan, but he has a bench warrant there that we didn't even know about. So now he's getting arrested and he's going to have to go figure out this bench warrant in this other county.
Was I shocked? Absolutely. Did I want my client to...
Who is this? She's saying my client. This is the defense attorney that he just, I think, picked up. There was a different defense attorney in the last hearing.
Bench warrant out of Allen Park.
So was I shocked? Absolutely. Did I want my client to walk in and then get escorted to the back? Absolutely not. That was not the plan.
The shocking thing about it is for a driving while license suspended.
Wow. So after all this, he has a driving while license suspended in another county that he has a bench warrant on. Wow. Okay.
That he didn't take care of.
It should be something that a lesson for all of us. Handle your business. At the end of the day, handle your business.
In Arbor, Kimberly Craig.
Wow. I cannot believe the defense attorney would say that. I did the best that I could in this hearing, but I wasn't expecting him to get arrested during this hearing because he's got some other warrant in some other county. That kind of throws my whole defense argument out the door. I mean, she probably could have done a little better. Like, hey, we'll work on this. Mr. Harris is going to, have his time and we're going to see what we can do for him. Something like that. Didn't handle his business and that's why he's in trouble. That's harsh. But anyways, I thought I'd come to you midweek, just throwing this together because this is just like breaking news. And what a ping pong of a situation. I really appreciate all the comments that we got. I can't choose the comments, but I'm assuming the comments are going to be now back the other way. Wow, he really was suspended. He doesn't even know if he's ever had a valid license. And at the time he got arrested, he said, I don't have a valid license to the officer. So he knew that he shouldn't be driving. I was like very much so thinking that could totally happen. I mean, it could totally happen where the state has a clerical error and this guy gets totally taken for a loop for no reason, where he gets arrested and everything like that, and it was actually the state's fault. I thought that was very possible, and I was with everybody on that, where he might have never had a license ever that was valid in Michigan. I mean, I just got my license renewed not too long ago, and it was just like, you go in, you pay your fees, it's a whole process. And just like I said in the first video, cut this guy some grace. I mean, he's probably, doing what he can do. He's taking his wife to the hospital thinking that's all he can do. He's probably thinking, I got to go to the hospital. I know I got this hearing, but I've got to go to the hospital to get my wife taken care of. I didn't see his wife in the vehicle. That's another thing. I didn't see it. I looked like he was by himself, but maybe he was. I'm like, let's just take it for what it is. It was comical. There's no doubt about it when you're driving in court and you're literally being charged with driving while suspended and you haven't figured that out, that's going to be comical. So just check out the original video of this. I'll put it in over my shoulder here. And yeah, true crime continues.